Yeah.
As soon as we go live, just some white shit in your mouth, just like.
Jesus,
dude, I haven't done that with whipped cream in so long.
It's the best. I saw a YouTube short where there was this kid who was crying like hysterical, and the dad just comes over, sticks this in her mouth, and fills her mouth with cream, and she's like, it was just like happy. Yo, I tried it and it fucking works. How are you gonna be upset? How are you gonna be upset with a mouthful of fucking delicious Ready Whip? Start the sexual
that's
jokes.
so funny.
Cue
that's
them.
So funny. Look at this. We definitely we got KRIS's influence everywhere. Sold Palantir at 20, bought Verizon.
Whoa.
Boom, baby. We're saying fuck Palantir. We're going into Verizon. We got KIM, sup guys, finally able to tune into a live. Been a while. Thank you for being here. We got Imnop, Heinze. We got technical trader Wong. Dude, Wong, can you send me the video of the bricks? Because I can't find it on Twitter, and I really want to share it to the stream.
What
if
bricks?
you could send me the tweet. He did this tweet about proving my bricks were fake, and he did this like analysis of it, and it was the funniest thing in like ever.
Was that
he was so serious about it?
Someone posted a picture while you were fixing your camera one time. They saw the edge. It was just like the edge. Of the
I don't know what they're talking about, but
no, you're like, I don't know. That never happened. Some other AMIT kook read you.
you know, it's funny that you brought that comment up. Let's kind of address that a little bit, and I think we did a little bit of a disservice yesterday, not just to the fans, but to each other a little bit too, when we were judging each other's portfolio and judging each other's moves. And I'll tell you why. I had some time to think about it after our conversation and today, and it got to me. I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have sold Meta, blah blah blah. And then I asked myself, you know, what are the worst decisions you've ever made, whether that be successful or failures? And I'll tell you, most of the time my failures have come from following other people, not because I either made money or lost money. It's because how I felt afterward, right? Like, so regardless what other people think, you have to do what's best for your portfolio. You know, whatever you learn, you do. Don't look at us for advice. Don't look at each other. You know, do the research, do the stuff yourself. All we really do is just comment on things that we think are right. And we all have our own methodologies on how to get the alpha. Okay. So at this point, I told myself this morning, I was, you know what? Instead of being critical and listening to other people, and this is the thing about Twitter too. Like whenever someone says anything on Twitter, now you've got like all these people, no, you're wrong. And it's like, okay, you know, whatever. Like you don't pay my bills, I don't pay your bills. So thank you for commenting. That's all you can really do. So I think we did a disservice by judging each other's portfolio. Now we can judge each other's companies to say, hey, that company is retarded or that company is great. That's a different story. But each person's comfortability when it comes to investing in time determination, in the valuation, all those things are very subjective, and each one of us has our own methodology. So I'm glad that person actually brought that up and said, hey, I sold Palantir and bought Verizon. Listen, congratulations. I think you did a good move, but I'm not the arbiter of your portfolio. You are. You know, all the risk that's being taken, you're taking the risk. You know, all the gains that you might lose out on by not being in Palantir when it goes to 200, you know, that's on you. But it's the same thing. If Palantir goes down to $10, you can't say, hey, KRIS is the guy that saved me from, you know, from making a big mistake either. So I think personal responsibility is probably the key to all of this. And I just wanted to make that clear, because once you lose that confidence in yourself, it really becomes hard to invest, because then what you end up doing is judging every move that you make. And you know what, after looking at my own portfolio and my returns, bro, I made the right moves. So yeah, let's go with that.
I think it's similar to Laura's comment, right? I look at the Junkies as a separate opinion that helps me avoid going into my own bubble of self. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, it's good to go back and forth, and then ultimately you have to have your own choice, because your own logic. Because if you don't have your own logic, your own conviction, that's when it gets the worst, right? That's when it's really like, oh, I'm letting someone else make me influence if I should hold this or sell this or what. So like, if you sell Palantir for Verizon, you shouldn't do it because of KRIS. You should legitimately think Verizon's undervalued, Palantir is overvalued. I want to make a move here, right? And then we're just another step.
Well, you won't have the stomach. You won't have the stomach if the trade goes at all different from what the thesis was when you made the move. You just won't have the stomach, and you'll probably sell for a loss. Listen,
Well, there's also
with the exception of Palantir, because you were so excited that day, there's never been anything that like anyone's influenced me to buy or sell. Nothing. I can't think of anything.
Yep. But there's also another element to it too, which is, everyone's got different ideas of what they want to do and where they want to go with their investing, right? And if you have to literally fight yourself to believe that you did the right thing or the wrong thing, you're already losing. And then on top of it, when you really look back, it makes you really wonder, like, hey, you know what? Did I do the right thing? Did I not do the right thing? And in the meantime, the entire time, you're just, basically screwing up whatever methodology that you have. So,
yeah, agreed. Before we get into the pod, guys, this is video from Technical Trader Wong. It's a 1-minute video. We got to look at it. This was his deep due diligence of my wall. And he did this like 2 weeks ago, but I never got to share it. It deserves to be shared. All right, here we go.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay, guys, I got to, clear up this conspiracy. AMIT has fake bricks, okay?
Start again. Sorry.
And okay, guys, I got to, clear up this conspiracy.
Wait. Before you continue, is he using like Windows 95?
Okay.
No, that's
Like-
Microsoft Paint. That's MS Paint. Yeah.
No, I know, but that's like from like 1995 version.
That is, yeah, it does look kind of weird, Wong. You're not using Canva or nothing. He's using, yeah, that is weird.
Maybe he's in a communist country still.
He's in Singapore. He's not in China.
They just got Windows 95.
All right, let's listen to this. The fucking Wi-Fi, bro. What the fuck? Play.
Oh my god.
Why is it so bad? Oh my
Can we all just
God.
chip in and buy you some Verizon home internet 5G?
I think no, but they don't offer Verizon where I'm at. That's the probably a fucking.
No, you know what that happens to me on Twitter too. Sometimes the videos
clear
come
up this.
Okay, just the way the conviction he has in the first 5 seconds is great. Here we go.
Okay, guys, I got to, clear up this conspiracy. AMIT has fake bricks, okay? And the reason I say this is because you can find a line here.
You're killing me.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Is this
that
being live
is
streamed
on
from North
AMIT's
Korea?
wall, and
What's going on?
typically,
Exactly.
bricks don't do that. Bricks just do not merge like that. That's actually impossible.
Oh, he's never
for
seen bricks
to
in
merge
Mexico.
like that, okay, so I am very, very positive that AMIT is lying about his bricks. You can see that there are a couple of mistakes here that bricklayers do not make here. So this is definitely something not bricks. These are, I think it's a sticker on his wall. It could just be green screen, guys. There's no telling here. So I think AMIT is definitely still lying about his bricks here.
Yeah, that's what he
not
was doing. I was thinking
eraser.
the same thing. He's gonna draw.
Dude, it was just like the way he started. He's like, guys, AMIT has fake bricks. It's almost like someone sold a share, like, guys, blah blah. Like, it's a serious news. Then he just zeroes in on it.
He called it a conspiracy. Like there was debate on it. There was both sides. Like
Well, I mean,
no,
the biggest
it's not fake,
giveaway
it's
is,
real. I will hold to my assumption. This is real.
the
Wong can
biggest
say whatever the fuck
giveaway
he
is the
wants.
top of the bricks. They end and then it goes to sheetrock. I don't know why he didn't start there.
It's still real, in my opinion. Wong can do whatever technical analysis he wants, but it's
Yeah, of
real.
course.
These are real bricks.
Do you guys see the bricks behind him? It's slanted. They're in
No, it's
another
not
direction.
slanted. It's altered in an. I'm a cute guy, so I told the guy make it in a cute angle for the bricks, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
So that's how we went from there.
yeah.
All right, let's start the podcast. Let's start off with this.
Jesus Christ.
Shopify merchants made $4.5 billion of revenue over the past weekend, probably more now because of Cyber Monday. So here's the question. Do Americans actually have this money to spend on the useless shit we're buying? Or is this like a credit event happening right underneath us? What do you guys think about Black Friday sales?
I think everybody
Well,
has a job and everybody can afford gifts for their family right now.
Yeah.
We're
The
not
other
in a
thing is-
we're not in a situation where people are starving to death and they can have a job. Anyone could basically have a job at this point. So I don't think it's a real issue at this point in terms of recession, if that's what you're getting at.
I think the other thing is there's been a lot of movement from physical locations to just doing everything online instead because of just how convenient it is, right? So if you look at Amazon versus something like like you remember back in the day, maybe this was like 5 years ago, where you would actually stay in line, get those deals. Like there were pictures and there were videos all around Twitter that were just basically like they opened the doors at 12 o'clock and there'd be like one guy waiting outside, So I think right now everything is moving to e-commerce. E-commerce like saves you on all this extra BS that you have to do, physically wait at the store, fight a grandma for it. And so I think people are tired of that. So, so.
Okay, Carlos, you want to take a contrarian side? Do you think people actually have this money or no? You think a credit card?
Look, I would have probably said no maybe 2 weeks ago, but since I've been doing all this work here, I've been in and out of a lot of stores. I've been in Home Depot every single day for 14 days. It is always packed. It's packed in the morning. It's packed in the afternoon. It's packed at night. People buying just shit flying out of the store. Had to go to Best Buy a couple of times. Always packed. I had to go to the mall. The mall is packed. Like people are spending money. It might not be wise. Like it might be better for them to be saving the money, but they're clearly not spending their mortgage. They're spending their income.
Amazon is selling 1,000 items a second. We'll talk about Amazon in a second. And Shopify is doing 2.2 million in sales a minute. Like, it looks like a healthy economy, bro. I mean, to Vitaly's point about people having a job, it looks like people have the money to spend on this type of stuff.
I mean,
for now,
check my Amazon. Check my Amazon. I've been on Amazon too. I've been on Amazon like every single day. I'm getting a package, something from Amazon every day. And if it's not me, my wife's getting something. The guy from Amazon lives in this neighborhood, and I'm seeing more of their electric trucks, which look really cool. I don't know if you've seen them. I don't know who makes them. I think
Rivian.
Rivian.
The Rivian truck, but they don't look like the Rivian trucks. That's the thing. They look different, but they're dope. And FedEx too. All the FedExes here are starting to go electric, and they're fast. I'm seeing those things on the highway. They're ripping out on people, like 2, 3, 4 of them in a row. I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening. I'm looking at Home Depot stock right now. I'm literally like, why am I not buying this stock? It's up 130%.
I have it. I have it in my divvy portfolio.
Right, but not enough. Like I have it too, but
yeah.
it's just, I mean, like, why am I not buying this? As like, are we ever going to stop building? And also, the prices of all the raw materials have gone up. I've done like work for the last few years, and I've noticed that the price of the raw materials are going up. The only thing I want to know is what the impact is of all the robberies, because they've been getting a lot of robberies. But just the other night, I did notice that they had an armed guard at the door now. They've never had that before.
At Home Depot?
Yeah, they had like an armed guy there who was like, he wasn't like checking receipts and stuff, but you saw him. He was there. He was like letting everybody know, like, I'm here. If you try to get that, Makita Sawzall, it might be the end of you. You ain't getting it, not on my watch, buddy. But yeah, they're up 72% over the last 5 years.
So they're up 72% in the past 5 years. I was going to transition to this one. Chris, you can do one last thought, but Amazon's up 72% this year. So I'll start with you, Chris, and you can say what you were going to say. Thoughts on Amazon 52-week high today? Is this the most obvious of the big seven is my question. Go ahead, Chris.
So first we have to take a bigger look. So go to the 5-year chart first. So I've been seeing a lot of charts on Twitter. Everyone's like,
wow.
God, look, the Magnificent Seven, the Magnificent Seven. Everyone is like, the Magnificent Seven is up like 70%. That means that there's no way they could ride even higher. And then you have to zoom out and you're just like, hold on a second there, buddy. Take a second look. And this is the thing with a lot of the Magnificent Seven, which is they are just getting back to their highs again. And Amazon is still not back to its highs. Its highs was like the 180s, 5s. So, so anyone thinking that the Magnificent Seven don't have additional room to run, I don't think that's true.
Oh, but the other thing is, how many businesses have gone out of business that Amazon then took those customers over the last 4 years, right?
Yeah, but
we're
Amazon's
like COVID now.
Amazon's biggest value proposition in the last, I would say 3 years hasn't necessarily been like bankrupting smaller companies. It's been more around just better monetization of their ad platform. Like they are generating so much money from ads and from third-party selling online, that like third-party fulfillment, that in my opinion, Amazon is an obvious bet right now, but
Vitaly, thoughts on Amazon? Up 72% year to date.
I think, I had a tweet a while back when Amazon and Google were running basically in line at 130s. I was like, Amazon, just by the chart, if you go back longer than the 5 years, Amazon just entered its bull trend over the last 20 years. So I'm not going to bring up the chart now, but anyone take a look at it. Google is sort of peaking I'm not saying it can't go higher, but Google was peaking. So I think Amazon has a lot more room to run than Google. In fact, back a couple of months ago, I bought additional calls and spreads on Amazon because I saw that entering the bull trend again.
This is
Yeah,
this is gonna blow your mind. Hold on a minute.
What are your strike prices on those spreads?
I could take a look, but I think I was at somewhere between 170 to 200, somewhere there.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna blow my mind. I just had to check this because I'm like looking at this. This can't be right. Hold on a minute. This cannot be right. But
The Amazon chart?
no, not the Amazon chart. Check this out. This is the world's largest economies right now. Okay, so the United States is GDP 23.3 trillion. But if you look, once you get down to about Italy, like Amazon, Apple, like they're approaching these countries' economy. Their
Wow.
market cap is approaching
The GDP.
the GDP of South Korea, the whole country of South Korea. Russia, 1.8 trillion, Brazil, 1.6, Australia, 1.6, Spain. I mean, basically, once you get down here, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Switzerland, like all these companies, like Tesla is bigger than Poland right now. Belgium. Thailand.
Wait, what? Tesla's bigger than Poland?
The world economy. This is the Polish economy, $679 billion by GDP. And what's Tesla at? $700-800 billion right now? I mean, this is blowing my mind that these companies, these US companies, essentially are a multiple of some of these countries. The entire
I feel like it's only the United States. Only US companies could become that big.
yeah, well, because by percentage of the US GDP, each of these companies is small because they're $23 trillion. But that blows my freaking mind. Entire UK is $3.1 trillion. That's fucking insane.
Let's answer this by Laura real quick. My concern with Amazon is that they have 1.5 million employees, so that is serious overhead. They have to keep up a lot of sales. Google has only 182,000 employees. On top of that, Amazon doesn't really make money off the retail business. Any argument there for why Amazon?
Why do people keep saying that? Right now, they're monetizing their ads platform in their retail business. They just created 50 billion out of thin air, and we're still talking about Amazon doesn't make anything on their retail business. Come on.
Well, I think the margin is like 2-3%. That's what
I know, but they have a whole ads platform that is printing like 90% gross profits basically right now.
Let's just take a look at this, all right? And maybe this will help people understand what Amazon is doing and why we may be a little bit more bullish on it. You know, people really need to stop looking just at, I don't know, some of the other figures that they look at, but this is Amazon's operating income on a quarterly basis. Okay. This is the money that Amazon just generates. Okay. And then it does all the other stuff like CapEx, everything else. So this is a very, very profitable company. Okay. Most of their profits, though, they sink back into the business, but you as the equity holder get all of that benefit, all of that value. So when Amazon gets all this money and then takes that money and builds more warehouses so it grows the business, that's not, oh, Amazon just lost money by building more warehouses. No, your business is growing. That's why your equity position is growing. You own a piece of those warehouses. You own a piece of that business. So look at this right now and just on a quarterly basis. They generate almost $11.2 billion. And this is September, not even like the busiest quarter that they have, which is coming up this quarter right now. And the probably the one, I think they record, what is it? Yeah, it'll be this quarter that comes up. This company is doing exceptionally well. And I think eventually they're going to get back to a point where they start returning capital to shareholders and doing massive share buybacks. So their free cash flow right now is starting to grow back again. Sorry, go ahead, Carlos.
No, I was just reading that. When they announced the 20-1 split, they also approved a $10 billion buyback. So this is in 2022. So I don't know if they finished buying since then. The other thing is bring up Tommy Dimes comment at 618.
Yeah, this is a big point.
That is the serious sleeper fucking play. Like, yeah, they got a lot of employees right now, but a lot of the jobs that they're creating will and can be automated away.
Do you think this is possible? Amazon 10x's in 10 years? 10x in 10 years is, but at 10x, that's
but if you think about like what 1 point something million employees, how many of those employees could you replace with robots? Whether it's in the factory or autonomous vehicles driving locations and have robots for last mile.
Even if you do, I feel like AWS would have to grow like crazy for a 10x. Like that's a lot of
AWS will continue growing, and so will their ad platform.
But
in
at
fact,
10x, bro, I don't know if it's 10xing. That's
But if you eliminate, how much are they
Why-
paying?
why they-
How much are they paying all of these employees and services, right? And in the compensation packages. So just imagine they were able to lay off half the workforce. That's 500,000 employees they'd be able to lay off.
yeah. No,
That's a
it's-
lot
So
of money
right now-
saved, and that money goes to the bottom line. And
I'm sure you guys saw today. Maybe you didn't, but Amazon released numbers that they delivered 4.8 billion packages by Thanksgiving this year, more than its competitors FedEx and UPS.
I did not see that.
how are they?
That is,
They're taking FedEx's business now too.
No, wait. But they're saying that they don't use.
they delivered with their own network more packages than UPS and FedEx, and obviously they deliver little tiny trinkets to anybody who wants it in an hourly basis. But my
They
point
count
is,
every single deodorant.
their logistics business is growing, and Rango pointed out that as they transition to EVs and save money on gas and all of these cost efficiencies, plus whenever they slow down their actual capex, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the next decade that can just balloon, the income that they show as opposed to spending it on capex. So I think we have a lot of room to run for Amazon, a tremendous amount. It's undervalued right now. Tremendously.
Okay,
And you guys should look at the chart. The chart is important. It is literally entered back into the 20-year bull cycle it's been in. This is not to be ignored.
well, bring up the chart again. Actually, bring up the chart again.
Yeah, can you bring up the chart? Can we look at it?
All right.
Got to bring up the coloring book.
I think this will be a fun.
Bring up the coloring book.
You
Look
draw
at one
so
of my-
many colors on
one
it, bro.
One of my
I'm like,
kids'
all right.
drawings. I'll print it out and put it on the wall.
And the farm. We haven't even talked about that. Yeah, pharmaceuticals, the pill pack stuff they're doing. There's a
But
lot.
someone sent me. They're also what else are they? Pharmaceuticals, but they're also offering healthcare now. What was that whole thing that they're doing, like healthcare doctor visits and stuff? What was that?
Yeah, they started that. You
What-
can have healthcare from Amazon.
Yeah, like and it's cheap. I had to do. Someone sent it to me on
man.
Twitter, and I was like, I wanted to do more research as to whether or not what would actually cost coverage for your family. Like they would offer what is it? Virtual visits. Most of it like virtual visits, and maybe it would be like pre-screening before you go to your actual doctor. But still,
Yeah.
the reason why I wanted to pull up the chart is because 2012.
There
Okay,
you
wait,
go.
2013. It's not a replacement for healthcare.
Well, take a look at this chart. Like it's so crazy that that we weren't paying attention to this, because this is literally since 2001, 1997. Like you could have been like just riding this wave. And so let me zoom in to where we are right now. Like we got out of this chart, and I was monitoring it, and I started buying actually here, thinking we would get back in. And we were talking about it on the pod. Remember, I think me and Chris were the only ones interested in this. So yeah, this was like an interesting move. It could have crumbled, but it's not. Look where it is. It's literally riding this goddamn line that I haven't touched in at least a year. So
you guys were talking about Amazon at 80 and 90. I know you and Chris were honking.
yeah. I bought a lot of Amazon, and I still have my calls at 100. I'm not selling those. But yeah, check it out.
So you're up what, like 100% on those calls by now? 200%?
I don't monitor all the time, but it's doing pretty well. Yeah.
Right.
So here, look at this. It bounced right off the line, went straight up to 148. So if Amazon stays bullish, I mean, I foresee that September 2024, we are definitely beating all-time highs. September or August 2024, somewhere around there.
But where were we in 2013?
2013. Okay, let's take a look. At
That's when
2013.
there was peak FUD around Amazon. That's when Chamath invested. That's when like 2013 was when no one believed in them.
Well, the reason why I say that is because that was 10 years ago. And if we're talking about 10xing in 10 years,
2013, they were in the trend.
what has it done?
They
What has it
were doing
done?
really well in 2013.
What has it done since then? 10-year return.
Okay.
What was that, 13 bucks?
Yeah.
At 2013?
Yeah, I'll give you an actual number. Hold on.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right, 2013.
Yes.
We're right here. So let's say somewhere around here.
So let's call it 15.
Right now, we are 1,000%.
That's 10x. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Do we have another 10x? I mean, the chart says we're
1,000%.
going up. So
And
we'll see
here's
what
what
happens. But I expect if we do enter this trend, the bottom of the trend is probably around $350 and by 2027. The top of it is probably around 1,000. So somewhere in that range.
Here's the question for you guys. Do you think this triggered me to kind of say this? Do you think we're underestimating how big AI really is going to be over the next decade for Amazon, Google, Microsoft?
Yes,
Or are we
are.
still overhyping the growth?
I
No.
think there's going to be a bubble in AI in the short term, because that's what happens whenever you have these new companies that come in. I mean, these new industries you have, and this is what George Soros says. And I as much as I hate George Soros, he's absolutely right. There's three times where you can make money on a bubble. Number one is the ride up. So you look at Nvidia right now. Everyone's so bullish on Nvidia. Oh my God, the AI chips are going to be like necessary for the rest of the world, for the rest of our lives, blah, 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 all that stuff. So you're seeing parabolic move up. And then eventually people figure out, hey, wait a second, I actually need to make money on this business. And then you see the entire market crash and it comes down significantly. But then what happens is the other third wave where you can make money, which is the slow ride back up to normalcy. So if you look at Amazon, that's exactly what happened in the .com time, right? Where Amazon went up like crazy along with everything that was .com, and then went right back down, and then eventually started to come back. But that comeback is usually a much longer time frame. So do I think AI is all hype? No, I don't think so. But right now there's a lot of companies that just put AI in whatever product they're doing, like fucking like a condom company will say, oh, this is an AI condom. And basically they'll get a higher valuation because apparently there's AI in it. These are the kinds of logic that people use right now. Anything with AI in it is getting bid up like crazy. And eventually all of them
Well,
are gonna
I
get
want
wiped
to
out.
point out,
Maybe 10% will stay.
well, you're right. 99%, we talked about this, will go away, but those are the tiny little companies. The Magnificent Seven will not go away, and AI will be a real big thing. That's part of it. So
I don't know if the
AI,
big seven are going anywhere. But my question is, do you think the big
No,
seven,
for
we're
AI.
underestimating how? Yeah, exactly. My question is, do you think the big seven, we're not even giving them enough premium of what they could be? Like, I say it's crazy Tesla could be a $7 trillion company. Am I the crazy one saying that 7 trillion is crazy and really it's 17 trillion? Right? Like, is it actually because like is AI actually the revolution that the internet was? Because right now it seems pretty revolutionary, but is it the revolution the internet was?
I think it is, and you just got to look back in the past. All of the companies that started out, how far they got just from being on the internet, right? How far did Facebook just get from being on the internet?
No,
Yeah.
but that's the
And Google and all these companies.
No, but Vitaly, though that's the exception. All right, those are the exceptions. For every one Amazon, Google, Microsoft, there's like 99 bullshit.com companies that died. Right.
Yes.
The key is to find those 10 companies that end up monetizing the shit out of this. So like right now, every piece of company that's coming out that's like AI, I can guarantee 9 out of 10 of those companies are not going to be around in the future. But yet they're getting money thrown at them.
So, Chris,
Right
does that mean that the big seven are going to be even bigger? Because then all that money is going to go to the big seven. Do you think
That's my point? Yes.
Yeah. If I had to pick a winner in the AI race, it would probably be those guys, because they're the ones that have the reach, the market potential, and also the money to do all the AI research and the AI stuff. The question that I have is monetization. Like, who is going to be the monetization winner? Like .com, everyone's like, oh my God, the .com bubble burst. But then Google was the one that survived because they were able to figure out how to monetize search. I didn't even understand that concept in 2005. It's like, wait, they make money when people search for things? Like, how does that work? So the question is, how do you monetize AI? Because everyone's coming up with AI products right now. Every single person's like, every company's just like, oh, I have an AI product. Okay. Well, does it make money? Well, I don't know.
And a lot of these AI companies are just using OpenAI's API and putting some fancy UI over it, right? It's not really an AI company. It's ChatGPT, just more niche down.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I just want to put some stuff into perspective. Okay. I think the AI, the invention of AI or the adoption of AI by these companies is as transformative as the iPhone was. The iPhone was a hardware device that then opened up, basically graduated us to the next generation of communications, right? Then in addition to that, it opened up the idea of the App Store. It really, if you just think about everything that came after just the simple invention of the iPhone, none of that was actually really not even possible. None of us really thought about that when it first came out. And if you think about this is going to blow your mind. Apple stock the day that the iPhone debuted was $75 billion, and it has jumped 5,800%. since the iPhone debuted.
That's
So
what,
you can
50X?
and so you can
58X.
say and keep in mind that they were making money before they had the iPhone. Now the iPhone is the primary source of almost everything. The iPhone, iPads, and it has basically gotten Apple where they are today. So they were now at $3 trillion, 5,800% return since the iPhone launched.
Let me ask you a simple question.
That's a
If
lot.
AI, not AGI, I'm just talking about machine learning and AI, the way it is right now. Let's say it becomes useful enough where everyone can have a personal assistant in their pocket. And who owns that? Google, Apple, Amazon, whoever, the big companies own that. Would you pay extra $20 to have access to all of that?
A month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
So a personal digital assistant who does whatever, writes your letters, formats your emails, checks your work, whatever it is, something intelligent that's just like basically a human being that you would pay for. So my point is, the upcharge is almost nothing, but to them, it's hundreds of millions of users or billions of users who will be using it, and there's no way in hell I'm leaving Google if they have that. Just not going to happen.
I think that's the ultimate goal of essentially all these companies. They just want to use their particular service to get there. Like Zoom's going to want to listen to all your Zoom calls and push you to be on Zoom and say everything that you want to do on Zoom so they can offer you the personal assistant. Apple's going to want to read all your emails. Facebook's going to want to see everything in your life to offer you the same service. Google's going to want to monetize the search. Chamath actually had a really great tweet that I'm looking for right now that summed all of this up. And it's essentially what you're talking about. VITALY, but it's not going to be something that I think any one company can offer you. It's going to be a conglomeration of all of them. He was basically saying, like, if you think about it, he was talking about data. He's saying what they found is that data is all of AI, or like large language models, arrive to the same point given enough data, right? So Amazon's going to have your purchasing data. Facebook will have your personal data. Google will know your search data. And he went through all of like the Magnificent Seven and the data that they have across all those seven. They basically have they basically have a total picture.
They have a monopoly on the data and also the processes to run all that data to have intelligent decisions made. These LLMs require a lot of processing. So who is going to come up next? Like before in 2005, Friendster had a chance to win, right? Against MySpace or whatever. I'm sorry, against Facebook. But now with Facebook owning not only the data, but also the compute on the data, how is the next Friendster going to compete with Facebook? I don't even see that. That might be literally, these companies are building just sustainable monopolies for the next 50 years, 100 years.
On the compute side, the compute power has to go down. I mean, we saw that little snippet from Elon that's eventually going to be a barrier. It's like the actual energy that it requires.
Is that 10 more years, 20 more years of them just dominating everything?
According to the interview, he felt that we might hit that point in 2 years, where there's just not enough, literally there's not enough compute in the world to do what it is that you want to do.
So that's why you think it can keep getting bigger and bigger.
This is what I'm saying. They're just going to keep winning.
You need faster. You either need faster chips, but essentially you need chips that can perform better with less energy.
Yeah.
Or you need better, obviously the machine learning has to become better where it doesn't need this much data to process, because I was listening to Andrej Karpathy. He has a little talk. I don't know when it came out, maybe a couple of weeks ago, but he describes a lecture of just how much compute it takes. And even big companies can't run it more than once or twice a year because it's so expensive to run it. And we're talking about Microsoft. If they could only run it once or twice a year on their models to generate their LLMs, I don't see how anyone else can compete with these guys.
Here's the tweet. Check this out. This tweet was Andy, this guy Andy. And then this is the part that Chamath highlighted. I'll make it a little bit bigger, so I'll read it to you. Interesting post from OpenAI employees claiming that all large language models reach the same endpoint regardless of the training strategy or clever tricks. The list is, of course, better. And essentially, the parties here is the surprising observation is it implies that model behavior is not determined by architecture, hyperparameters, or optimizer choices. It's determined by your data set and nothing else. And then this is what Chamath quote tweeted this, and he wrote, "At the sake of sounding repetitive, while it isn't clear at the outset, it's pretty clear now. There is a race to own data that is valuable in fine-tuning and RLHF. You should expect foundational models to be largely commoditized and largely free, largely soon. Non-obvious data sets of huge value in this end state, Tesla's real-world environment data, Meta's real-world preference and behavioral data, Google's search intent, YouTube behavior and Gmail, and Amazon's purchasing behavior. Question is, which companies are founder-led enough to beat back the lawyers so that they can actually take advantage of it? So what he's saying is, like, essentially, you can have all the compute and everything in the world, but what you need is the actual data. And these 4 companies are uniquely positioned.
I so agree with that, dude. Especially the
Right?
number 4 one with Amazon.
Yeah.
If you look at how Amazon has worked with their third-party sellers to actually do conversions, it's crazy. So think about it this way: when you go to Amazon, it's already got a curated view, but it's tailored so well that it makes you want to buy. It's almost like when you're leaving like the pharmacy or the drugstore, and they put those things that are just right there that you're
impulse purchases.
the impulse purchases to
The
buy.
Reese's for me. They put the Reese's right in front of me. I have to buy a Reese's. I have to.
So
There's
I
a
think
shortage of the peppermint patties because of me and my neighborhood. Don't get me anywhere near those things. But anyway,
so each one of those things that they're like they listed are very obvious. And like I said, that's what gives these companies their alpha. The fact that Amazon can actually guide your purchasing behavior to get you to buy more stuff. Think about how much that's worth, dude. If I was a seller on Amazon, I'd be like, yeah, sign me up. Take 25%, but make sure all my sales are converted. Every time someone sees my product, it's a sale for me, and I'll just build that into the price.
Yeah, but now you understand why they don't give a shit about making only 2 or 3% on the business, because it's the data that they're collecting. So you could have your own store, right? And you could sell the stuff, but then you don't have that. They don't have the data on the person shopping, the person, the age, the preference. They get all that. They get all of that extra data just by hosting you. So they're willing to make a few percent on it to get the data, because they know, like, that's the oil. So I don't know. I meant to tweet that out. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to find that.
Let's transition to this. Thank you, 383 people, for being here. We got Kim K taking her popular Skims clothing brand public, potentially in the next 6 months via an IPO. $4 billion. I wanted to get your guys' raw thoughts on the question. Is kind of interesting to me because Kim is a reality TV star. I think a lot of the things that affect her.
Bro, she's a porn star. Just let's just come out and just say it. She's a porn star.
But that's your words, okay?
No. I mean, dude, it's obvious. Did you not see all the stuff that like Ray J came out with, and to basically put it out there and blast? He actually had a contract where her mom pimped her out, made 3 separate videos of her getting fucked, and then literally like releasing it like it's a sex tape.
Well,
but
they were leaked.
Yeah, they were leaked. Yeah, leaked by your mom. Like, dude, I would not want to be part of that toxic ass family where your mom.
So here's the question. No, this is a good point.
Like
this is the question. I think the business, actually, I looked at some of the metrics. The business, it looks like pretty like undervalued at $4 billion if you look at some of the operating margins, all that stuff. But given all the shit she has in her life and potentially relationships, all this stuff, do you think her public persona could tank the stock? Which is the interesting question. Like, it's really good. She has like 100 trillion followers. That's great.
No, Kim K and the Kim K and the Kardashians are fucking over. No one gives a shit about them.
No, they have a big deal on Hulu. They get paid a lot.
Whatever. All these media companies, they want to do whatever. But dude, Kim K and the Kardashian family are already the past. All right, they're gone already. Like, no one gives a shit about them.
Interesting. Okay. Anyone have a contrarian take? Maybe would you invest in Skims? I guess is my question. Let's say the business looked great. Let's say you had $1,000. Your buddy was like, hey, you can take my free 1,000, but I want you to invest in Skims. What would be the reason not to invest in it from a PR perspective around Kim, if there is
any? What's the problem?
What's
the problem? Is she running a good business? You think she's the one making the decisions? Like, you think that Kim's there making all the decisions?
She's not making any decisions. But my point is, she's the face of the brand. And what if Kanye says he loves Hitler again, and then she's associated with Kim, and what I mean? Like,
this is what you and I even started again with, like, Elon tweeting or Elon buying Twitter tanked Tesla's brand. Like, do you think that these people just run the business by themselves? Like, how do you think you get to a multi-billion or $1 trillion company and not have an amazing group of killers behind you that all execute? Like, if she's got a fantastic team, they go to work every day trying to make that company successful. Yeah, she's the face of it, but she's not making all the decisions. She's not running that company. So who cares? I don't know. If the company's good and its company's solid, I think it's fine. Like, I would have invested in Kylie makeup in 2015. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
I would have dumped boatloads of cash into that, but we couldn't. There was the other one, Rihanna's company, Rihanna's lingerie company. She's just basically posing for some pictures, and she's a billionaire too. Are you kidding me? I'd love to see the metrics if you've got them on the company.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull them up real quick. But it was just an interesting question to me because, I mean, she is very controversial. If anything happens, I mean, I think a lot of people share Chris's opinion, which is like they just don't want to be associated with that. So net profit of 190 million, margins are 25%. Revenue is going to be about 750 million, up 50%. They're growing faster than Lululemon. Lululemon trades at 40 times their earnings. So they're cheaper than them. Skims 2024 revenue growth will be likely much higher. And they launched the men's line, and it sold out in one day. 10 million people are on the wait list because she has that level of brand.
What is the? Can you pull up a chart? Is there a chart?
No, it's a private company, so there's nothing there.
Oh.
But I don't know. It was something I wanted to ask the chat too. What you guys would think of if you would buy something associated with Kim Kardashian.
I wouldn't be averse to it, but am I running to go buy that now when with Bitcoin, Tesla, with the other? No, I'm not. But I wouldn't see her as a negative for it.
Okay, Carlos, do you know what's going on with this Sweden Tesla thing or no?
Yeah.
Can you break this down for us? Why are they suing Sweden? What's going on here?
Oh man, look, I've gotten bits and pieces of it over the last couple of days, but Tesla suing this week. Okay, so essentially they did like a vote apparently, and like 95% of the employees in Tesla Sweden did not want to unionize. But I guess they forced the union through, and there was all the pictures of people taken. I don't know. It was the whole thing with that. I'm not actually like super. I haven't researched it too much recently because I've been so busy. But essentially, I think they won, and they were actually able to form a union. And so I guess now Tesla is suing Sweden's post.
Do you think this is because of the auto worker strikes, and now people are getting excited that the union?
Because unions basically want to put themselves in as middlemen. And look, unions, as much good as they do exert a lot of control. Like I think in the UAW deal, it seems to me right now, like even the deal that they worked out was not necessarily good for the workers. Like because what they're asking for, at least at the transition point that a lot of these legacy auto companies are at right now, what they need is employees. What they need to do is incentivize employees in different way, because increasing basically 4-day work weeks with a 40% increase when they're already drowning in debt and selling vehicles at a loss, and they need to focus on the transition to EVs, is not sustainable, I don't think, for them. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where they like have a short-term win and then lose long-term. So now, and look, for a long time, they've been trying to unionize the Tesla in the United States. So maybe they're doing a strategy where, hey, we can unionize them somewhere else in the world and then eventually try to bring that fight over here. So it looks like what Tesla suing the Swedish government as the company continues to resist agreement to union demands. Yeah, I don't think the Tesla employees, look it up. The unions, the Tesla employees don't want it. They don't want it. I saw a couple of articles about this, and they were interviewing some Tesla employees saying like, this is the best company that I've ever worked for.
Yeah.
Like the management is great. I love the compensation package. Like I really love this company the way it is, and I'm not interested in necessarily getting a union. So
yeah, I think the auto worker strikes definitely influenced some of this stuff. Elon also today was in Israel visiting the site of some of the Hamas attacks with Benjamin Netanyahu. I think that also was, I think he wanted to go, but I think also he needed to clear up the tweet from last week about Jewish people. And so it seems like a little bit more damage control on his side as well.
He did mention he would do something if the war ended. I forgot what he said though.
He's saying he's donating some of Twitter's ad revenue to Gaza. And
no, he was going to do something else, like rebuild. He said, "I'm going to help rebuild," or something to that effect.
There was something.
Anybody here in the chat
there was something with You're right. There was something with Starlink. There was something related to Starlink.
Yeah.
Something related to that. Which, by the way, did you see the whole other? Did you see that? That they were saying X.
Rebuild the strip. That's what he was going to do, or help rebuild the strip, the Gaza Strip. So. He's actually going to build, not just Starlink. He said, I am going to give money and help rebuild.
Wow. It's a big commitment.
Oh, man. I mean, if you just think about the shit that Mr. Beast got for putting a couple.
It can't be harder than Twitter, honestly, dealing with Hamas and the Jews.
Oh, my God.
This was actually brought up by
Steven.
This was actually brought up by Steven Schwartzman, and I think a few other people that said, look, at the end of the day, Gaza is only about 2 million people. It's a very small part of the world. It's not a giant country. like $50 billion could rebuild the entire thing. So it's not like, oh my God, this is going to be super expensive to redo and all this other stuff. So I think if the world really wanted, and once again, this all comes down to what's the actual solution to all of this. Because if it's like, okay, let's just put money behind it, let's rebuild the infrastructure, and then they do this again, and the Israelis come and bomb the shit out of it again, like it's just wasted money.
Hey, don't blame the Israelis, buddy. Okay.
No, I'm not blaming. Look, I'm not blaming the Israelis. Trust me, if you killed 1,000 of my citizens, I'd bomb the shit out of you too. I'd be okay with it. Trust me. The U.S. called for blood. The Israelis took out a small piece of the world, right? Like a very small thing. The U.S. we invaded 2 different fucking countries. All right,
That is wild.
2 different countries,
bro. That is wild.
And fucked them up for a long time.
20 years we spent in those countries. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, we're in a ceasefire now. We're giving up some hostages. We'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, it's definitely something Elon wants to play a role in. Let's end it off with this. This I thought was really interesting. ARK put out their investment thesis on SpaceX. They say the largest near-term opportunity for SpaceX is its Starlink satellite constellation that is designed to deliver global internet access. SpaceX has already deployed 1,000 of these. We have research reporting 42 million Americans don't have access to broadband. I didn't know that. I guess there's a big part of rural America that a lot of us never pay attention to. This could be about $10 billion of a rough addressable market per year. That is in the U.S. alone. And then they're talking about globally, internet access is there. Basically, they're saying satellite connectivity market could approach 100 billion annually over the medium term, and Starlink is going to win most of that. I guess the question is, would you invest in Starlink or SpaceX if it went public?
Hells yeah.
Is it a big hells yeah, or you wouldn't have any
No.
doubt? You wouldn't
No,
have any. You wouldn't care
no
about
doubt
valuation?
anymore. Whatever valuation it comes out at.
Yeah, you got to look at the valuation, but it's only going to the moon, literally. When you talk about one stock that actually is going to the moon, it would be SpaceX.
Listen, out of all of these companies that are going to get to Mars or to the moon or to anywhere, it's going to be SpaceX. That's the one you want to bet on, not Rocket Lab and all these other little shit companies. SpaceX is the company that's going to do it.
You don't like Rocket Lab? You don't think they got a shot? It's Rocket Lab.
It's so hard. It's so hard to get into space that when someone does it, just invest in the guy who did it already.
There was
He's actually doing it.
What about Blue Origin? Blue Origin got into
listen,
speaking of which, hold on.
He's probably going to make it too, just because he needs to prove Elon that he's better than him.
Who runs Blue Origin? Because Bezos doesn't actually run it.
Well,
he owns it, but who does the day to day? Like, I don't think we know the guy who's.
Yes, you do. Yeah. He was there with William Shatner when they sent William Shatner up. Okay, they all went up together.
William Shatner runs Blue Origin?
No, William Shatner went up. They gave William Shatner a free ride because he was Captain Kirk. You know what? You know Captain Kirk. You know Star Trek.
I remember that. Who's the CEO? I'm trying to figure it out. Who the hell runs Blue Origin?
The thing is,
you guys, you brought this up, so I have to share this. This was Warren Redlick posted this. So Bezos beat Musk to Mars milestone. NASA chooses Blue Origin's rocket to launch a mission to the Red Planet in 2024. So Warren writes, what BO rocket is even close, ready to launch in 2024? New Shepard can't get to orbit, much less Mars. New Glenn hasn't gotten close to static fire. And just as a joke, I just posted, what did I post? I wrote underneath it, I said, if they get there, SpaceX will already be there, and so will McDonald's. Something like that. And it actually got a lot of
I know Jeff Bezos was petitioning the government seriously because Elon was winning the contract. So it could.
He got mad. Yeah, he wanted the contract for the lander. He wanted the contract for the lander on the not necessarily the rocket. I didn't know that they won the mission to the rocket, but they were trying to bid for the lander. And Elon's thing was, why have a separate lander if Starship can do both? We can launch with it, fly there, and land it there. You know,
William Shatner is 90. I didn't know that. Damn. If he was running Blue Origin at 90, that would be.
Well, let me ask you.
Not running it. Damn, dude.
Here's a pop question before we end. Who is William Shatner? What show was he in?
He's on. Hold on. He was on a Star Wars, right? Like some space thingy. Star Trek.
He's fucking with us, dude. He's fucking with us.
No, I swear to God, he was on Star Wars or Star Trek, right? One of those.
Star Trek, yeah.
Star Trek. I got the star. I figured it out.
That's good enough.
Interesting.
We should. Let me see. Let me just see. Hold on.
Star Trek asshole, says Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I said Star Wars first, and then I was like, wait a second. No, that doesn't sound right. Star Trek. Star Trek.
Yep.
It's Star Trek. Yo, what's the difference? What is Star Trek? It was a show, right? Star Wars is a movie. That's the difference. Is that what you guys are killing me about? Star Trek.
Here's another foul question. In Star Trek, who is Shatner's number one?
Spock.
Boom! Amazing. Look at this. That is
Who's,
amazing. He
do
finally
you
got
know
one.
the actor? If you get the actor, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah, very impressed.
No, I wanted to like Google it right now and come up. I don't.
Leonard
Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy.
There you go.
Leonard Nimoy. What type of? Okay. Interesting. But who played Darth Vader in all the Star Wars
Darth
movies?
Vader. Darth Vader.
So the voice was done by James Earl Jones for the trilogy, the original trilogy. It was James Earl Jones for the voice. I don't know who the main actor inside the costume was. And then the young Anakin was Hayden Christensen. You know.
Okay, explain to me this. Why is Star Wars not done chronologically? Why are there like episode 7 was the first one or whatever? Like, why is that happening?
You mean episode 4? Episode 4 came out first.
Bro. Yeah, like why is episode 4 the first one? That makes no sense.
Because they had to continue the story, like they
have to keep making money. Okay,
they were envisioned as like a series of 3 movies, and then in order to, they're like, oh, why don't we do an origin story? Why don't we tell the story, before? Because what are you going to do? They couldn't continue anymore. Like,
okay, so no, I want to actually take the opportunity to understand this. What is the central conflict in this saga about Star Wars? Like, is there literally a war among the stars? Like, like what exactly? What's the Have you really Luke Skywalker? Why is he walking the sky? Like why exactly?
It's the battle between good and evil. That's all there is.
No. But it says is it in space? Like, where the fuck is this battle happening? Is it on?
No, it's under the fucking ocean, bro. Come on.
It's in Ohio. You didn't watch it?
Star Wars is an American space opera franchise created by George Lucas. Okay, I remember hearing his name before.
He made so much freaking money. He basically made 3 of those movies and retired.
Yeah, he's definitely trolling us.
George Lucas. What's his net worth? No, I swear to God, I'm not trolling, bro. I never got it.
No.
$5.2 billion. Wow.
I doubt he watched any of those movies, or especially Star Trek. Complete. I bet you didn't watch any Star Trek at all.
I've never watched Star Wars. Never watched Star Trek. Just never got into it. He's 79, $5.2 billion. He got divorced in 1983, remarried in 2013. Interesting. Okay. Cool. So I guess we'll end it off on this. Star Wars, you guys think is the most successful movie franchise ever? That would be your claim.
I think the Marvel.
Fast and the Furious. They keep coming up every fucking year. There's a new Fast and the Furious, dude.
I don't know. Disney Plus built a whole brand around Star Wars, basically.
Yeah.
And keeps making them. It's probably the most successful one. Yeah.
I think Harry Potter is bigger than all of them.
No, I can't do the Harry Potter.
That's not a crazy take at all. That's not a crazy take. Harry Potter.
Some people like it. Some people like Star Trek. Some people like Star Wars. I'm a Star Trek guy. Some people like Harry Potter. Some people like Lord of the Rings. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. There's something for everybody.
You like Lord of the Rings and you still don't own Palantir. Interesting.
That's why I don't. You know what the Palantir did in fucking Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't.
Like, why would you name the company that? It's like invest in Death Star Inc. You're like, what? Why would I invest in that company?
So Amit, the Palantir the Palantiri were just magical
all-seeing eye. I know that it's all-seeing.
No, it's not the all-seeing eye.
They were the stones. They were the stones in the movie that allowed you to see great distances, but you could see across time, and they were controlled by all the evil people, basically to do all of the evil
basically to spy on you. That's what they do,
right? So he comes out and says, I got a great name for my company, guys. You're gonna love it. Come on.
It's a pretty cool name. I'm not gonna lie. It's a cool name.
I don't know. We might have covered this when it actually happened, but since we were talking about William Shatner, they did give him a ride on Blue Origin, and he finally got to go to space for the first time. And this is what he said after he came back. So this is William Shatner. Okay, it's the first time you're seeing him, and this is when he came back, when he was talking with Bezos. You see this, Amit? We're doing this for you. You see this here?
Okay. Yes.
William Shatner. And so after he came back, he wrote a letter. And he said, my trip to space was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a funeral. And so he goes on, I love the mystery of the universe. I love all the questions that have come up over the thousands of years of exploration and hypothesis. But when I looked into the opposite direction, into space, there was no mystery, no magic, no majestic awe to behold. All I saw was death. Let's keep going down. And he says, everything I had thought was wrong. Everything I expected to see was wrong. I thought it was going into space. I thought going into space, it would be the ultimate catharsis of that connection I had been looking for between all living things, that being up there would be the next beautiful step to this understanding the harmony of the universe. He said, he said it was the most profound experience I can imagine. I hope I never recover from this, he said at the time. I'm so filled with emotion about what just happened. It's extraordinary. A year after, he said, every day we are confronted with the knowledge of further destruction of Earth at our hands, the extinction of the animal species, of flora and fauna, things that took 5 billion years to evolve, and suddenly we will never see them again because of the interference of mankind. It filled me with dread. My trip to space was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a funeral.
Wow. So he had a really negative take.
Yeah, well, if you watch the video, like he was like crying. Like, I mean, I have to say, this is a guy who, like, in 1960s, he was like the face of space exploration, like, you know, and even me as a kid in like the 70s and 80s, like I watched all the episodes of Star Trek and then watched New Generation and watched Deep Space Nine and watched Voyager, all of them. And that was the way that you got to see space, you know, and for them to give him that ride, and he actually went to space and experienced weightlessness. Must have been an amazing moment for him, but he said he felt heartbroken. What he said he realized is, like, everything that you thought was out there, the actual beauty is on the planet. When he looked down, he's like, the actual beauty is right on the planet. It's not, we keep looking up at the stars and it's just black and death out there. Like, you go outside,
grass is always greener.
Yeah, and you're dead. But he's like, all the beauty is actually on the planet. So it made him feel really connected to the Earth. But he also, like he said, it felt like a funeral for him. Interesting.
Dude, sound like he got stuff. Okay, here's the final question we'll end it on. If you got an all expense paid trip with Elon in the rocket to go to the moon, just the moon, or to the stars, whatever, for like 10 minutes, would you take it? Elon's with you in the rocket.
No, thank you.
What kind of question is that?
You said yeah. Okay, Vitaly says yes. Chris says no. Carlos, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd go. Of course I would.
Okay, Chris, why do you say no?
He's like, what would we talk about?
No, I think you're concerned. What if that shit blows up? If it blows up,
I'm like, bro, if this is the first time it's going to the moon, definitely not. Maybe
you wouldn't go on one of super heavies that have gone up and taken people to the space station.
Bro, I don't know how safe that thing is. The last one they launched just exploded in fucking midair,
oh
man.
My God,
Come
would
on.
you stop? No,
the
Starship that they launched was meant.
The
they detonated it. It didn't just explode on its own. They detonated it. The purpose of that flight was to test the separation. Everything after that was cream. They blew it up.
We don't have to make excuses. Those are tests. The other spacecraft has been going up and down. How many times already? Hundreds of times?
Then it's not even news anymore. It's like doesn't even make the news.
Hundreds of times it goes up and down and lands and nobody cares anymore. So it's totally safe, in my opinion.
David says if Elon says something, do it. Inbound says I'm gonna need a lot of Tesla tequila. Kelly says live a little. I was opposed to it at first, but like as I've did a little bit of research on the rocket, and it has gone up a lot, yo. Like they're reusable for a reason. So like if you, and also just because I'm an attention whore, like the amount of fucking followers I would get that day, like the media covering me and Elon, like it's probably worth risking.
They would be like, I'm going on a date. I'm wearing my red tie.
Like, dude, you would get like 10,000 followers that day if you're in a rocket with Elon to the moon, or like that's crazy. Like I would definitely do it. There's no way.
Probably get 1 million followers if you play your cards right.
Yeah. I agree with everything Daddy Elon says. Like, yep. Twitter was great. 44 billion. Perfect. It was undervalued, Elon. Great price you bought it. I just agree with everything.
Here, real quick.
He's literally treating Elon like he would treat a fucking date. Like, just lie to them. You know, oh, do you like this drink?
This drink is good.
yeah. He'd be like, oh yeah, it's great. Okay. The reason I bring this up, because we're wondering whether or not these companies still have room to grow in 10 more years. But let's go back 10 years and see what the top 10 tech stories were of 2013, right? Which was like, we're living the 10-year anniversary of this news, December 23rd, 2013. The biggest tech news was the console wars began new. Launch of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Balmer retires after a lackluster response for Windows 8 and the Windows Phone. Remember that? Remember the Windows Phone? Probably not. Microsoft bought Nokia.
The Windows Phone was on Star Trek, right?
Shut up. Stop it. Stop
Get it wrong.
Microsoft bought Nokia. Okay?
Only Trader Wong has the Windows Phone.
Yeah. It does its analysis. The Google Barge. You remember that? The Google Barge that they were like, it was parked out for a while. Do you guys remember that news? Nobody knew what was in it. BlackBerry's continued demise. Poor BlackBerry. Once the smartphone to have in large.
So by 2013, it was way obvious.
Yeah. Twitter IPO'd 10 years ago. Bitcoin was like a year old, right? A year old. T-Mobile ditches contracts. Remember that when you had to have contracts for all of your, when you didn't have unlimited data? And NASA was still spying on us.
Not NASA, NSA.
NSA. Yeah. Electronics on plane. Remember that when they didn't allow you to have electronics on plane and they finally allowed you to do the, these are like the top 10 stories. And wearable tech. Holding your things in your hand is so 2012. The year was about wearable tech from the Google Glass was out 10 years ago. If you think about where we are now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room to run new companies, but we'll see.
All right,
Windows
guys.
95, bro. That was hilarious. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. 370 people. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. We'll keep going from there.
Later.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.